Freedom of expression, including press and media freedom, is essential for a functioning democracy and Malaysia's institutional transformation. However, prejudice and objectivity have been more prominent in traditional and electronic media. The Communications and Multimedia Act 1998, which infringed on people's right to free speech and expression, has seen an increase in prosecution due to rise of social media. Advocates and civil society organizations are calling for reform to address this issue and challenge faced by Malaysia in promoting freedom of speech and expression. Malaysia has not ratified most international treaties on freedom of expression, media and information. However, it has the right to express and share content online, but it must be responsible for any consequences. This can lead to criminal charges or civil lawsuits. Opponents of the Federal Constitution enjoy the freedom to speak and express freely, but they must adhere to certain requirements and norms, including the option of peace and cooperation.
Media could be referred as the platforms which function as a medium of communication, information, news, and entertainment. There are two types of media which categorize as traditional media and new media. Traditional media, as we're already aware, it includes the newspaper, magazines, and radio. For instance, Surat Khabar Harian for Malaysian citizen. New media refers to the social media that emerging throughout worldwide, such as Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. New media forms as in the existing of the internet and digital technology that have been the main attraction to the youngsters. Freedom of media have been emerging in digital world as Malaysia is the nation that promotes freedom of speech and expression and allows its citizens to freely point out their opinion. However, there are several restrictions in order to prevent his harmony and avoiding scrutiny on security nations. These restrictions have been applied in several laws in Malaysia. For instance, Sedition Act 1948. Wherein this law prohibits the utterance of seditious words and the import of distribution and seditious publications. This act restricts speech or statement that might contain sensitive topics related to race, religion, and royalty. For example, on restriction of freedom of media in Malaysia is the Printing Presses and Publication Act 1984. Whereas the publisher of any magazines or newspaper or any books in Malaysia needs a license from the ministry before starting their job, and they must renew it yearly. It also imposes control on foreign publication that are available in the country.
Constraints in enforcing freedom of media in Malaysia. Every person in Malaysia is subject to laws restricting freedom of speech, despite being inherently endowed with fundamental freedoms. The media in Malaysia operates under stringent legal frameworks, including the Printing Presses and Publications Act 1984, the Sedition Act 1948, and the Communications and Multimedia Act 1998, which significantly constrained freedom of speech. Recent incidents such as journalist Tashni Sukumaran's investigation under the CMA and the fine imposed on Malaysia Kini for reader comments highlight the ongoing struggle for media freedom in Malaysia. Challenges to media freedom in Malaysia include self-censorship, media ownership concentration, and government regulation of digital media under the CMA. Evaluating freedom of speech in Malaysia requires a nuanced restrictions, as seen in cases involving Al Jazeera journalists. While restrictions on freedom of speech are crucial for maintaining public order, national security, and social harmony, overly broad and vaguely defined laws can be abused to stifle dissent and suppress legitimate criticism, undermining democratic principles and the public's right to know.
Regardless of the current state of media freedom in Malaysia, it's crucial to examine the far-reaching consequences of restricting this freedom. Restricting freedom of speech in the media has both positive and negative implications. On one hand, it can lead to a controlled stable society. On the other, it compromises transparency and the flow of information to the public. When freedom of speech is curtailed, the press loses its ability to inform the public about current issues without censorship, and this suppression breeds a poorly informed and apathetic citizenry. In democratic society, the cost is profound. The government or dominant groups can exploit the media to disseminate propaganda, manipulate public opinion, and distort facts. The absence of reliable information paved the way for disinformation, plunging us into a post-truth era where facts are frequently disputed, especially in political contexts. We have seen this through many cases that the government imposed restriction on media freedom. But let's also consider the other side. Restrictions on media freedom can contribute positively to society by ensuring national security and stability. Controlling misinformation prevents manipulation. The press becomes more cautious, ensuring accurate and responsible reporting. Moreover, regulations can reduce hate speech, a growing issue in Malaysia. Sensitivity to multicultural and religious diversity is crucial for maintaining social harmony. By upholding the limitations outlined in Article 10 of the Federal Constitution, we protect and uphold the nation's unity and stability. In conclusion, while restriction on media freedom in Malaysia present challenges, they also offer a path to stability and security. The balance lies in ensuring responsible freedom that respect the nation's diverse fabric. Let's strive for a nation where freedom and responsibility go hand in hand.
Freedom of the media is often confused with freedom of speech and expression, but these concepts are distinct. Freedom of expression is beneficial for democratic self-governance and promoting human flourishing, while press and media freedom are protected instruments for truth pursuit. Rights and safety are crucial for a free and independent press, and the government should ensure a safe environment for journalists. Online abuse and violence threaten journalists' democratic roles, preventing them from pursuing the truth and serving as watchdogs. To enhance media freedom, individuals must possess digital media literacy, which involve understanding digital services and content, connecting with diverse technologies, making informed decisions, and safeguarding oneself and others from harmful content. Media literacy education is essential due to the growing availability of diverse media platforms.
In conclusion, throughout history, discussion on freedom, particularly the right to free speech, have explored its advantages and disadvantages. The public should be allowed to express themselves freely, as it is the foundation for democracy and values. However, freedom should only be restricted to ensure public safety, legal requirements, morality, and respect for others' notoriety. Some restrictions are believed to protect national security and the sanctity of Islam.